Well, today we are challenging the stigma and taking a look at the reasons to get tested for HIV. More and more people are finding love and staying healthy regardless of their HIV status as they take the journey from diagnosis to disclosure. And it starts with the first step of getting tested. Here to help us is Brad McGalia, Walgreens Director of Specialty Health Solutions. Welcome to you, Brad.
Thanks so much for having me.
Well, thanks for being here with us today. Now, I understand that tomorrow actually is National HIV Testing Day. Why is that an important day?
It's a very important day because the CDC recommends that everyone between the ages of 13 and 64 at some point in their lives to get an HIV test. And so for certain individuals that may be at higher risk of acquiring HIV, they actually recommend more frequent HIV testing. They do this because 1 in 8 individuals living with HIV in the United States still does not know their HIV status. And so critically important to know your HIV status, and HIV testing is the first step in the process.
Absolutely. Now, please tell our viewers, why should they consider getting tested if they've never been tested before?
Yeah, like I mentioned, the CDC does have that recommendation. And if you don't know your HIV status, it's a great way on National HIV Testing Day to come into one of our stores to get a free confidential HIV test where you can learn your HIV status, usually within 20 minutes in a private, confidential manner. We do it in private health rooms. We have counselors. We have professional health healthcare professionals to answer any questions that individuals may have about what do I do now that I know my HIV status. And so critically important on National HIV Testing Day to come in for a free HIV test.
And Brad, you took us a little bit through the process there, but can you tell people what to expect when they go in for a test? Maybe if they've never done it before, what do we need to look for? What's the process like?
Yeah, so no appointment necessary. Come into our stores. Walk in. We have community-based organizations in our stores. We host the largest testing event in the country on National HIV Testing Day. Come into our stores. A community health organization will help conduct that test, walk you through what to expect, let you know your status, answer any questions that you may have, all done in a very quick manner, also in a confidential manner.
And why is it so important to destigmatize HIV testing?
Stigma is still very real. It has been since the beginning of the HIV epidemic. So we want to do everything that we can to help overcome that stigma. So if we help individuals feel more comfortable about getting an HIV test or answer questions that they may have based on fear about knowing their status, what do I do once I know my status? Or also, how do I prevent myself from acquiring HIV? We believe all of that plays a critical role in helping to overcome stigma associated with HIV. That will all be necessary if we actually get to a point to where we can end the HIV epidemic.
Absolutely. Now, how is Walgreens supporting the HIV community?
Really good question. We've been doing that for quite some time now. So since the beginning of the epidemic, we actually opened up our first HIV specialized pharmacy back in 1996. Since then, we've been able to expand those locations, and now we have all of our pharmacists in over 9,000 locations that are trained on HIV treatment and prevention, where we can answer questions that individuals may have. But also when it comes to National HIV Testing Day, we've been a part of National HIV Testing Day for 12 years now. So we've been able to offer over 76,000 free HIV tests in our stores on National HIV Testing Day, and this year is no exception to that.
Wow. Now, someone may say, I've tested positive or I've tested negative. Once they have the result in hand, what's the next step?
Well, it's to answer the questions that they may have, to link them to care. So in the event that they have an HIV reactive test or a positive test, then we're going to help that individual get into HIV treatment so that they can lead a long, healthy life. If they test negative or have an unreactive test, then we're going to talk to the individuals about what are ways that they can prevent acquiring HIV. There's a medication regimen called PrEP, or pre-exposure prophylaxis, that can help an individual to prevent them from acquiring HIV. So we'll walk individuals through that entire process on National HIV Testing Day on June 27th.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Brad, for joining us today. And to get more information for finding your nearest participating Walgreens HIV testing location, you can go to greaterthan.org.